This is the Altitude Daily Podcast. Everything you can't miss from today on Altitude Sports Radio. Mosher, Lombardi, and Kane.
We were, last week, Adam, very happy with the pinpoint accuracy of the Denver Broncos and shoring up some things. What are your thoughts on it? Because it looks like they hit a home run here.
I think they killed it. I think they honestly hit free agency just right. Like, it worked out as well as it could have. You know, the Niners were trying to get back Dre Greenlaw, even after Denver had an agreement done with him. You know, they were pushing to get that done. And they were trying to flip his decision in this world that we live in where, you know, people commit and there are agreements. And the Niners tried to flip Dre Greenlaw back to San Francisco. And I think they were pretty persuasive, but not persuasive enough. And I think Dre Greenlaw stood his ground and kind of stayed with Denver. And Hufanga, you know, when he's been healthy, has been unbelievable. He's been a missile. He's been incredible. And Evan Ingram, same thing. Like, you know, these guys all have had some kind of injury issues. And there's a reason that guys get to free agency to begin with. There's a reason for that. And in San Francisco, they were struggling to pay everybody. So that's part of it. So there's two 49ers. Evan Ingram, you know, Jacksonville didn't deem him worth the price. Denver did. You know, Denver paid Ingram. You can't pay Ingram and Cup and pay all these veteran guys. Just you got to draw the line somewhere. But Ingram's the kind of player that they've been looking for in this offense for a while, and he's immensely talented. And you know what else about all three of these guys? They like their character. They think these guys are going to be great locker room guys.
What kind of player is Ingram? I mean, I've seen video. I watched him in the Giants. He had that great season with Jacksonville. But if you had to give us a definition of just character traits, what is he?
Well, I remember when he was in New York, and I remember talking to their coaching staff and them telling me that he was the Odell Beckham Jr. of tight ends. That's how talented he was. Okay? So I always remembered that. And then if we go and look at his numbers in Jacksonville, let's remember, Vic, he was their franchise player 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
They franchise tagged the guy. And then this year he was hurt. So, again, if he's healthy, he's going to catch 75, 80 passes in Denver's offense if he's healthy.
The Altitude Daily, the morning sprint.
When Rantanen got the secondary assist on the first goal that hit the referee in the shin pads and was essentially the reason why they end up scoring, there were heavy boos when his name was announced as a secondary assist. I think the split coach, when they played his highlight montage that you mentioned, and that was after the first TV timeout in the first period, I think it was like an 80-20, maybe a 70-30 positive to negative split, like cheers and thank you for what you've done to how dare you leave and sign the same deal in Dallas that you could have had here. I think it was, let's go 75-25. We'll split the difference right in the middle, positive to negative reaction for him. But as the game continued, you could hear some boos when Mikko possessed the puck, which actually didn't happen all that often. Like, Rantanen wasn't that big of a factor outside of a big chance in the third period that gets stopped by Wedgwood, outside of going offside in overtime, that if he doesn't go offside, Coach, I think Dallas wins the game. And I think Rantanen may actually end up scoring the goal to win the game if he doesn't go offside. He didn't really possess the puck all that much. And I think what was really nice to see is that you had this crazy arc of energy throughout the game where it hit a peak right before puck drop. And then it started to go a little bit lower. It goes back up once Dallas scores the goal. And then it drops right down after the video montage. What I learned from that is now you get to move on. Now you just get to play hockey. Now Mikko Rantanen, this wound is not open. Now he's just a member of the Stars, man. Now he's just a member of the evil empire.
Yeah, and that's who you have to get through. And I think as an Avs fan, as the Avs team, allegedly there was the meetup for dinner to bury the hatchet. Were you able to it sounds like that did happen the night before. Did that happen, Raj?
It happened. They all went to dinner, and it seems as though when when Landeskog told the Spit and Chicklets guys that, we're all going to hash it out, I think that was him just kind of speaking off the cuff. It wasn't actually a meeting to sit down with the five families and figure out which guy that they're going to whack. It was the fellas went out to dinner. Mikko paid for it because he just got a big ticket, and that happens whether you stay or you leave with your buddies. You lose credit card roulette that day. And They talked about it. I don't think there was anything to like hash out, but I'm sure they talked about it. Eric Johnson and Cale Makar all talked about how they went out to dinner. Nothing was, there wasn't any animosity there between the players, and there shouldn't have been.
The Altitude Daily. Columbus, Hastings, and Dmac.
Now, let me ask you a question. Would you rather have Gabe Landeskog and just give it a shot in the playoffs, or have Jack Drury, Joel Kiviranta, or Parker Kelly? Because Coyle, O'Connor, and Colton ain't going anywhere. Miles Wood isn't seeing the ice anytime soon. They've already deemed him whatever. I don't know when he's going to play next. It's Kiviranta, Drury, or Kelly. Or would you rather have Gabe Landeskog?
Here's the irony of the question, is that there was a point in time that if you would have asked me that, it'd be like, wow, we just need the spark. We just need to hear the roar of if we could just even hear the roar of the crowd when Gabe gets out there on that ice, man, can you imagine the spark that's going to give this team? And right now you're like, damn, we kind of like this squad. We kind of like them boys that are out there right now. Doesn't really feel like you necessarily need the spark of Gabe Landeskog returning.
It's just one of those three guys. Kelly, Kiviranta, or Drury.
That being said, the upside of Gabe being healthy is far greater than any of that, right? I mean, now you're taking a gamble of whether he can come back at full speed after, God, how long has it been now? 3? It's been 3
years.
Yeah.
But think about this. For the playoffs, you don't have 3 games in 4 nights. You don't have back-to-back.
Right.
And you don't have travel. Gabe somehow was able to summon the courage and ability to play in the Stanley Cup run. He did not practice at all. He just played in games, and he played great.
I wonder if he
played great.
I wonder if he starts traveling with the team a little bit. Just kind of get back into the routine here a little bit. Be with the guys. Get back on schedule. Get your body back to traveling, being on an airplane.
Well, Dan, go ahead, Dan. What do you got there?
Gabe, it's been reported that he will be on the road trip with the Avs to skate with the team.
Well, there you go.
Did you see the other night when they did something for McKinnon? He might have been that 1,000th game or 1,000 points, whatever it was. And dudes are in there pouring the water on his head. Remember that video? Mm-hmm. Did you see who the first one to lead it off was?
I'm sure it was Gabe.
Gabe Landeskog in a suit.
Guys, I think Landeskog is going to make his return once the playoffs start.
I think the Avalanche just played the Las Vegas card with the long-term IR.
LTIR, yeah.
Remember what they did a couple years ago, and all of a sudden they had like 5 dudes that were like former stars come back in, and I think they still lost to the Stars in the Western Conference Finals, but they had a very average season, blah, 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 and all of a sudden, boom, everybody comes back during the playoffs.
The Altitude Daily. Kretman and Lindahl.
Do you think this core 4 is back next year?
No.
I don't either.
I think MPJ, and again, not to pick on MPJ, I don't know what to do, though, Nate.
Right.
That's a big contract for a guy that's not shot the 3 ball as well as he has. Now, you said he's been average, and I think
he's been at his career average.
He's been better at other parts of the game.
Yeah.
But what kind of haul are you going to get for a guy that's not performing at his peak with an expensive contract? But again, to me, you just the haul is getting money freed up to do what the Avs did and maybe go get yourself a more balanced team.
Well, here's the thing that you will sell in a trade conversation with Michael Porter, which honestly you might miss if he's no longer in a Nuggets uniform. He's averaging 18 points a game.
Yep.
Really, really good. He's shooting 50% from the field. He's shooting 40% from 3. He's shooting 75% from the line. But a 50-40 shooter who is, last time I checked, 6'10", is pretty damn valuable in the modern NBA. Okay, somebody, and especially given that he has shown his durability here over the last couple of years, you can absolutely sell a potential trade partner on his work ethic, the fact that he has become a durable player, and that he has physical gifts that not many human beings on the planet actually have. And you could move him.
Would you be okay, though, if it looks like a Mikko deal? And I bring up Mikko because you basically get 2 slightly lesser players.
Yeah.
But look, Drury and Natchez have been very important to what the Avs are doing right now. I don't think either is the talent of Mikko, but I think you're a better team with 2 rather than the 1.
If you told me that you were going to bring back 2 3-and-D guys in a trade for Michael Porter Jr., that'd be great. I also think I don't know. I don't know what Aaron Gordon's future is going to be with this team beyond this season. They've signed him to an extension. It is an affordable deal on a player of Aaron Gordon's caliber, but he's been banged up this season. I just, again, like, can you keep 3 max contracts and another 4, a 4th highly well-compensated player on your roster? Is that the correct way to build this thing? I know a lot of Nuggets fans have had this conversation all year long, and given the current fade of this roster, which, hey, you know what? They could go out and they could go 3-1 on the 4-game trip, and we could completely change our tune by the end of the week.
Which has been this whole year.
It's happened with this team numerous times. They could rediscover something out on this road trip. Doesn't feel likely at this point. I don't think they win tonight against Golden State, but this team has done this thing in the past, and they could remind everybody, oh, by the way, we've won an NBA championship.
You've been listening to the Altitude Daily. Catch us live weekdays on 92.5 FM, the Altitude Sports Radio app, twitch.tv/AltitudeSR, youtube.com/Altitude Sports Radio, and your favorite smart speaker. Say Altitude Sports Radio.